And salutations, everyone. It is time for the post-mortem stream video over here on youtube.com/SamusGrovo. Greetings and salutations. Welcome very much. For the hardcore server, obviously. And we have some interesting stuff going on. First of all, for the first time at the end, we are in the top 15 on favor. We do have 2 lives to live. I fully admit I punted in a legendary Sharn Welcome and picked up a death that everyone can go look on, Twitter and YouTube or Twitch and blah blah blah. They're all there. And let's see, where am I over here on the? I'm 67th on the Reaper favor. I thought maybe I would work a little bit harder and get up a little higher on the Reaper favor, but then I just didn't. It's kind of a thing, I guess. Yeah, I was sat on the top of this not top, but in the top 20 with my 3 life to lives for a really long time, and then I thought, you know what, we can try to get some Reaper favor. Took a death and a Reaper quest, short manning, and I was like, yeah, I'm done. So, what do we do in the post-mortems here? Well, first of all, we talk a little bit about the build and what else is going on with the build in general, how it's different, like from this life to the previous lives, and so on and so forth. So, this is a very classic Samus, 18 Wizard, 2 Rogue, Pale Master. Things are pretty similar to usual. With a couple of differences in the fact that we do have some epic feats going on. I usually don't worry about epic stuff very often. So we have like Master of the Dead, Intensify Spell, Improved Augment Summoning, stuff like that. Dreamscape, which I kind of like actually. I always like the Colors of the Queen type effects, but I don't hit this as often as I should. I've been using it kind of as an emergency out in case of danger. Usually Randy has enough time to grab whatever aggro in that particular time frame. But I like the randomness of it, so it's kind of interesting to me. Then let's see, what else do we kind of have? Anything else interesting going on? I guess we do have some tomes here. I will admit I did purchase 2 tomes the first week. I purchased I don't think it was a Charisma tome. I think we looted that out of a chest somewhere. We got a Inherent 4 bonus to our intelligence. I bought a +4 intelligence tome, and I bought a +4 constitution tome. So the fact that we have this +2 dexterity is probably from our 1750 favor, and then this +5 is probably from our 5000 favor. I thought I had looted a tome somewhere else along the way. Maybe that's this wisdom one. I don't know. One of the tomes I looted, and one of them I got. So we did it up with even a +2 strength tome even. So we have strength tome or tomes in every stat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, every stat. And that I think that did help quite a bit, setting our intelligence up a little bit higher right away at the beginning, picking up a few more hit points per level right away at the beginning. It felt like a solid investment to me. The build is pretty similar to previous builds. The feat list is basically the same. The spell list is basically the same. Priority of things slightly different, just a little different over here in the enhancement tree. So first of all, you may notice that I'm a regular gnome instead of a deep gnome. That means that we do lose Unearthly Reaction type ability as a enhancement feat. From my previous hardcore Pale Master video, but it doesn't seem that bad. You can still kind of tumble around and do stuff, but you do miss it. I started not being a iconic on the hardcore server, thinking that I didn't want to go all the way to 30 in case I picked up some deaths and I wanted to TR and start again. Because of the particular rule set on the hardcore server 3, but I didn't. I like I said, I literally spent 1 death at the very end that was foolish, and had I not wanted to get more Reaper points, I wouldn't have lost. I wouldn't have messed up. The thing that is different about this particular go through compared to my previous video is I'd spent a little bit more time going earlier into the Eldritch Knight tree. I did find that kind of working my way up here a little bit earlier with the Mystic Wards and the extra hit points earlier did help quite a bit. But as usual, I did prioritize getting Randy up and running as quickly as possible to kind of like do the hard carrying, did the low levels. And then once Randy was in place, then I came over here, worked with my Eldritch Knight stuff, and then I came back over and fleshed out my Pale Master tree. So, yeah, I felt like that worked really nicely. The other difference is I didn't take Arcane Barrier. Or I did for a little while until I got to level 12, and then I switched over to turn into bats instead of the Arcane Barrier. I did notice this would go off once or twice, but it wasn't as... It didn't feel as often, or maybe I just didn't notice it as much because instead of this giant blue ball of doom, sphere of doom, I would just disappear and basically jump backwards. So I felt a lot safer this life overall. I felt like it wasn't as much of a problem. So we have 7 points in our racial tree, 46 in the Pale Master tree, 15 over in the Eldritch Knights tree, and then we picked up quite a few in Falconry, to be really honest. I really like Sprint Boost. Normally I just take like tier 1 of Sprint Boost out of the Falconry tree and call it good enough. I'll take like extra healing amp, or I'll take like the bird trip. I am a big fan of the bird trip. But this time I felt like it was more interesting for me, especially because I did everything on Reaper, basically, from the first quest you could do on Reaper all the way to the last quest you needed to do on Reaper for Favor. And I ended up actually picking up my 10 Reaper points before I got my 5,000 Favor, which is kind of normal for the way that I like to play on the hardcore server. So I found this particular go-around, getting the sprint boost early really made a big difference. Being able to like swoop out of danger, or because I was, as often I feel like I am, I'm the crowd clearer, right? Because you can jump in there, well, the Banshee, or Circle of Death, or something else, and then get back out. Especially if you're moving really quickly. That is, in fact, what ended up happening to me that caused my death. Which I zoomed in, I killed the bad guy, I was on my way out, but as it died, it dropped the spider, and the spider had like that quick of a fuse and blew up. The other thing I felt I took early on was the Archmage Magic Missile, which I did get a lot of value out of. So 13 points here, 1 point over here. Nothing in Inquisitive in particular, nothing in Harper Agent. Like, we just kind of did our standard all in on Wizard DC's kind of shenanigans. Over here in the Epic Destiny tree, I actually did a lot more Epic Destiny tree work than I really normally would. I normally wouldn't care this much. I did max out my Arcane Karma tree so I could take one of these. Was it this sphere? Does this require 3? I think this required 3. To take the Dreamscape. I didn't feel like working much harder than that, so low-hanging fruit. But if I'm hanging out in Magister, which I prefer to do whenever possible, our DC is 90 plus 1 plus 1, so 92, and then in Reaper enhancement quests, or Reaper quests, we just pick up an extra 1. I still kind of lean a little more towards the defensive side of everything, especially with maximizing our reflex saves, stuff like that. Which, by the way, our reflex saves 87, which is pretty good. It's not no fail, but it's up there for sure. Things like Unearth Reaction certainly help. And we could twist some other points in for sure. But yeah, overall I felt like this was really strong. Important gear things along the way. I say this every time, but the Dreadkeeper set does a lot of work for us. It's a lot of um, negative energy amplification, a lot of physical sheltering, a lot of bonus spell power and crit chance, etc., intelligence, that kind of stuff. Also, we do pick up one extra intelligence in Reaper Quest to actually take us another point up. So we are getting 2 points out of the Reaper there. So you're getting, it's like 45-ish, give or take, which is not perfect, but it's fine for Reaper 1 for the most part. Let's see. Oh, let's see. You end up picking up quite a bit of negative energy spell power. So right now you can tell that my positive is 847. Or sorry, my poison is that. My positive is 637, and my negative is 845. Now, that actually gets quite a bit of augmentation with the Divine Hymn. That's another 25 positive and negative, and an extra 10 MMR, which again is big game. Why did this not? Oh, I targeted Randy. Let's target us for this hymn here. So again, that's 287. If we fire off a superior nail potion, that's 3 minutes of 895. And there was a while that I was actually boosting over 900. So there's quite a bit of boost going on in there. Just depends on whether or not you want to twist in a spell boost or something. You can get quite a bit of short-term boost, and even theoretically, 4 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever it is, you can get a lot going. And this is just plat. Like, no one cares. Whatever. Have all the plat you want. You have your surge. That helps, obviously. And yeah, I felt like it worked out pretty well. The PRR 171, pretty reasonable. Not amazing, but still pretty good. Our MMR could have been up a little higher. But again, I felt like with evasion, I could kind of slack off a little bit. Also, having the extra con, our fortitude's still not great, but every little bit helps on that. So overall, I felt like we were pretty good. I do have to give some thanks to Niven, the Didiodom, Pip, Thotgar, Flask, a couple other individuals. They really did help consistently being in the group, consistently being helpful. Like, it's you cannot understate how much of a help it is to have a good team for this kind of stuff. Alright, so let's take a look at the favor here. So again, with my position on the leaderboard being fine, again, not the greatest, but reasonable. This is the first time that I've actually kind of bothered. I've usually TR'd at 20 and came back around to finish up my favor. Or not my favor, my Reaper points, and then I usually stop and log off and I'm done. So these extra bonus lives gave me a reason to kind of work my way up the ladder just a little bit here. So you may notice that we don't have anything missing until we get to level 7. And this is one of the things that I realized that I personally need to work on and change. I skipped Temple of Elemental Evil Part 1 and Part 2 because I don't know them. It's just a quest that I feel really weak on, and it's something that I need to work on in the future. And then we actually have a pretty good clearing. Again, I feel pretty comfortable in all these quests until we get down here to level 14 and we get to Tower of Frost. This is another quest that I don't feel particularly comfortable in, but I did happen to be in the right window range with Flask. Flask and I basically went and did the quest, and even though neither one of us really knew what was going on particularly well, we could figure it out. So like, when it's time to do the puzzles, I stepped in and figured out the puzzles, and while I was like motivating the people around, he was able to really help me out. So again, big thanks there. And we, like I said, we did almost all these on Reaper, also, pretty much. The rule was if somebody in the party was really scared of Reapering a particular quest and we skipped doing it on Reaper, we just did it on Elite. But I think we skipped like less than 10 quests between 1 and 20. It was pretty good. So again, we're digging through, bam. We skipped the Shroud. So at the time, I was really interested in keeping all 3 of my lives. If I knew that I was going to punt a life at level 30, I probably would have went ahead and did the Shroud raid. Or I should have leveled up an alt and flagged it to leave Samus piking at the front door and had the alt go in and be a helper. If they decide to do something like this lives again, I'll probably consider doing that. It seemed like a lot of the top people had lots of helpers. So you have like Buffy, you have Buffbot, you have, like I said, there was quite a few of them. Looks like some of them may have finally dropped off, but there was a lot of people that had numerous bots accounts with them. And you would, as a group leader, someone who put the LFM up consistently, you would get tells, hey, can I bring my Piker account with me or whatever? And it's like, probably not. That was me personally. Ascension Chamber, again, it's a quest I would have been happy to do had people been ready. Hey Vila, just recording a little post-mortem here real quick for the hardcore server. And yeah, the rest of the stuff we pretty much knocked out along the way until obviously Tower Despair we could never get a group together. We did farm for all the boot mats, but a group just never really came together. Lord of Blades was closed. Caught in the Web, same kind of thing. We just never really found a group that was interested. There's a lot of concern about insta-kill effects. But there was some rumor in there about if you had immunity to slippery surfaces, the insta-kill, like getting knocked off of the thing, wouldn't happen. But I never went to confirm that, so I didn't check it out. Fall of Truth, same thing. Just so hard to get some of the raids together. That being said, some of the other things, Studying the Sable, Haunted Halls of Evening Star. Big thanks to some viewers that helped us out with this. Brothers of the Forge, same thing. I just recorded the Fire on Thunder Peak on normal. That was really cool to kind of get that little bit more. I was in 15th. Thanks to Fires on the Thunder Peak, we moved up to 14th. Riding Out the Storm. I had never done this raid before. Did it for the first time on the hardcore server. That's a scary raid, especially on hard. So yeah, lots of firsts for me this go around. I was really pleased. I really enjoyed myself, and I actually would have spent more time. Got some Dancing Pony show going on here. Would have actually really enjoyed Sparkle, and who else is this? Thria. Really enjoyed it. As usual, getting into a helpful guild early and really helping the guild level up early was great. But yeah, overall, it all felt really... It felt like a really fun experience to me this particular go-around. I've been a big advocate of some sort of extra life mechanic. And I think the way they kind of spaced them out's a little bit weird. But I think the idea is that a lot of people really struggle in certain spots that as somebody who TRs a lot, you really don't think about very much. So like a lot of people struggle getting to 1750 favor. That to me is something that, as somebody who TRs a lot, I'd be like, that doesn't make any sense. But it is true. Some people struggle. A lot of people struggle to get to 5,000 favor. And again, I realize that is a little bit more difficult thing to achieve. But I think with being patient and being aware of the situation, people can get there. So I do really appreciate the opportunity to not get zapped to death due to lag or whatever. I thought that was a nice mechanic. Again, until I basically made that little mistake. We had 3 lives to live, and I'm pretty sure, I'm like 99% sure I was the highest person on the leaderboard for a little over a month that had all 3 lives to live, to lose. And then I lost one, so that'll get me. But overall, I had a lot of fun this particular hardcore server. I hope you guys did too. I hope you guys had an opportunity to play it and check it out. Again, build video for level 1 through 10 for this particular build is on my YouTube channel under the build section. Should be right above or below this video. And yeah, I'm looking forward to season 4. Rumor is it's going to be a little bit later. It'll probably be after the start of the next year, I believe. I think that's probably okay. And then also, I believe, don't quote me, or I hope they decide to pick a Mimic theme, and I hope that they have a permanent Mimic hunt, and I hope that they mix up the rewards a little bit more, where you can turn in and unlock different low-level rewards, like weapon skins, or hats, or cloaks, or whatever. I mean, I still think having the cloak as a big tier item is special, but like, you can branch out into some other stuff and make them like Mimic-y themed and really have a lot of fun by unlocking multiple things on the hardcore. So, long story short, I think that they are nowhere near done tapping out on the hardcore server. I just would like to continue to see them experiment with changing the base rules of the hardcore. And something like your chests can become mimics and eat you is something that would really change, in my opinion, the dynamic, because mimics can be really tough out of nowhere. So I really like that idea. But yeah, I think that'd be a lot of fun. All right, everybody, thanks for watching this video. Again, I did it. I made it to 30. I got the 10,000 or the 5,000 favor. I got the 10 Reaper points. I didn't get the pet. I might regret not getting the pet, but I didn't really decide that I cared enough to get the pet until it was a little late. And then I immediately stepped my toe out, lost a life, and was like, I'll step away again. So, I'm pretty happy with this. I did beat my personal record of achieving those 3 goals. The 5,000 favor, or two main goals, the 5,000 favor and the 10 Reaper points. I did beat my goal was to be faster than last season, and last season took me a little over 3 weeks, and this season took me basically 3 weeks on the nose. So I don't know what personal goals I'll set for next hardcore season, but I hope to see you. Peace. We'll see you guys soon.